And we're going to take you live now to the Ontario Legislature, where question period is currently underway. Let's listen in.
Once again, to the Premier, one more chance. Who was holding the crayons when the government decided to sell off the Greenbelt?
Members will please take their seats. And to reply, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing.
Another fable by the New Democratic Party is being told in the legislature this morning. You know, she talks about, Speaker, through you, she talks about public commitment for housing. Well, Minister Bethlen Falvey, under the leadership of Premier Ford, tabled a wonderful budget.
I'm going to ask the Minister to withdraw his unparliamentary comment and conclude his answer.
You know, we added $202 million to our homelessness prevention program, and I want to thank members from both sides of the House for doing some great announcements last week. Yep. In fact, one of the ones was the member for Niagara West, who made a fantastic announcement that the member for Niagara Falls was pleased to attend. So some of her own members are celebrating the public commitment this government's made to ending homelessness by adding that additional $202 million. I don't know about the Leader of the Opposition, but some of her members have got with the program.
The next question. Order. The next question, the Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Speaker. Yesterday, my colleague, the member for Sudbury, stood in this House and told us that a hospice in his riding is having to rely on a food bank and fundraisers in order to feed its residents. And this government responded by bragging about generous individual donations. Speaker, it's almost as though this government wants Ontarians to think that this is normal, that it's perfectly normal for a hospice where people go for end-of-life care to have to rely on a food bank so its residents don't go hungry in their final days. Speaker, my question is to the Premier, and it's a simple one. Does this government think that that is acceptable?
The Deputy Premier and Minister of Health.
Thank you, Speaker. You know, I also should have highlighted yesterday, and the member from Sudbury would know this, that earlier this year, we actually gave that particular hospice over $2 million. Wow. Why? Because we saw the need, we saw the excellent work that they were doing, we saw the pressures that they were under as a result of ongoing commitments that they have within their community to ensure that that hospice can continue to provide the excellent service. But you know, Speaker, in our health document, we actually talk about expansions to hospice and palliative care because we have a government, as a government, have made that commitment and will continue to make that commitment because we understand and appreciate how important palliative and hospice are in our province and continue.
Supplementary.
Speaker, it is shocking enough for a hospice to rely on a food bank, but usage is up across the board too. I've been traveling around this province listening to ordinary Ontarians, and what I've been seeing is shocking. People working full-time jobs and who can't get by. People visiting food banks for the first time. 1 in 14 families in the Waterloo region. In Vaughan Woodbridge, 36% of food bank visitors were children. In Kawartha Lakes, it's 50%. In Mississauga, food bank use is up 400% over the last 8 years. Speaker, food banks have asked this government to tackle the root causes of food insecurity, yet the most recent budget provides almost nothing. Will this government bring in measures like real rent control to make life more affordable for ordinary Ontarians?
Please take your seats. To reply, the Parliamentary Assistant and Member for Oakville.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And you know, if I was the opposition, this is probably not a path I would walk.
Okay, we've been listening to what's going on inside the Ontario Legislature. Leader of the Opposition, Marit Stiles, saying that the usage at food banks is up and that people working full-time are accessing food banks more, and is asking the the provincial government to do more to help, since there was nothing in their recent budget to address issues such as this one.